Hey everyone, so it's your friendly DM Ghost, and Zazzy's here too, and we're going to make a short video here explaining our new system for combat we're going to have going forward. So, in the most recent campaign we've been doing, a lot of the bosses have kind of felt lackluster to some of us, and I tried mixing up throwing in some different mechanics like on the Lich fight with the arranging the runes and things like that, but nothing seems to be giving enough of a challenge. It feels like a tank and spank every time, and we wanted to add a little bit of variety, find a way to add challenge to it. So we're going to be doing two things to change this up. And the reason I am in this game here is I'm going to use it to kind of explain what we're trying to do. So what we want every boss to have from now on is a stat sheet like you'll see here that's going to have weaknesses, strengths, and other random effects. So going forward, instead of just tanking and spanking bosses, we're going to have bosses who might have multiple forms, say, where they might be immune to magic for a couple rounds and then immune to ranged, or they might be immune to execution moves or like trying to slash throats or anything that'd be considered like a one-hit KO. So we're going to really focus on not only making that a core part of it, but also having figured out in the middle of the battle. So when you're doing things incorrectly, it might punish you very heavily for if you continue to do the wrong thing over and over again. So to give you kind of a real life example of how this is going to work, so this guy here, you can see his strengths. He's invulnerable to stealth, invulnerable to ranged, can slay monsters quickly, and then his random attributes is he has weapons that he can throw. He's got Vault Breaker, you can't jump over him. So I'm going to try and implement a lot of these sort of things on the bosses. So when you try and do things like jump over them, they might stop you or block you or have simple things like that. You have to work together to figure it out. And what it'll look like is like this guy I'm going to pop out now so you can see him. He's way over there, so he's in vulnerable range. So I'm going to try a ranged attack and shoot him. And it pops up in vulnerable range. It does no damage, obviously. So he's completely unfazed and unaffected by it. And then when we actually go into the combat, we got a little short movie here, sorry. If you didn't know, Shadows of Mordor, amazing game you should get if you haven't played it yet. See, I tried to jump over him, same thing. He's not weak to that, so he just threw me off of him. So let's try and play on one of his weaknesses here to show you how that would kind of work and how I want it to look like. So it can be hint damage and combo finishers and combat finishers. So we're going to run away a little bit. Oh, that wasn't run. And see if we can't find something to blow up on this guy and teach him a little bit of a lesson. Let's see here. Oh, there might not be anything near, which would suck because I'm trying to make an example out of this, but sometimes that's how the world works, unfortunately. So, yep, nothing I can do there, so I'm going to have to go with the combat finishers. I'm going to try and sneak up on him and stealth him, and as you can see, he instantly blocks my attack. So I have to get a strong enough combo finisher to finish him, but of course he is way too powerful. And someone else joined in too, which is another mechanic I want to have. If you guys are being too noisy, if the fight's not going the right way, that sort of thing can come in. Some other guy might join into the fight. So a lot of different things are going to happen in that. And the second part of what we're going to change about the combat is to deal with the chaoticness. If we're going to have 2, 3 bosses going all at once, if we're going to have um, so many people as we've had between 8 and 14 people all fighting at once, a big part of it is everyone kind of feels out of the spotlight. Everyone's attacks matter, but I can only pick one or two to really deal damage. And as much as I try and share it so everyone's a part of it, some people feel left out. You don't get in the spotlight. So we're gonna change to down the line, maybe not this campaign, but the next campaign. We're gonna have strike teams basically, where you're gonna get in groups of 3 or 4 people, and each turn is going to consist of turn one is going to be the boss versus strike group A. Group A gets to do their post, so there'll only be 3 or 4 of most rather than 14 going at once. The boss will react to those, and the boss might throw an attack either A or he might attack another group, and then group B goes, and then they fight, and then C. So it gives the boss one a lot more power because we're going to have a situation where the boss attacks multiple times. They're not going to just roll over and die in one round, so they're going to have a lot more opportunities to fight, a lot more opportunities to damage. and at the same time, it's going to give everyone else an opportunity to be in the spotlight and an opportunity to do more, as well as we're really hoping people will get into it and try and come up with different ways to make their team fight well together. So you might think of combo moves or what can your team do together to really fight well. So if you have an archer and a brawler and a healer in your group, for example, you might find a way to make all your moves work together so that you're doing one solid flank attack rather than 3 separate attacks. So we really want people to think about that and really kind of be creative with them. We want these boss fights to be a lot more than just they flop over and die. I wanted to do a lot more with the Lich King fight, or not the Lich King, but the Lich fight we had, but he ended up dying in, 3 turns? He summoned a dragon, then flopped over like a soccer player. So that wasn't fun for anyone, and I recognize that. So we're going to do as much as we can to change that up and make this fun. So we're going to slowly be implementing this, but we wanted to give you guys a heads up on how it was working so that you have plenty of time to adjust and get ready for it, as well as definitely talk to us about any concerns or comments if you want to add anything or change anything, or if you have any ideas. We're always, of course, welcome to hear them and see what we can do to implement it, because again, this is all for your guys' fun. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching and taking these ideas into consideration, and we'll see you Friday and Saturday.